Canva's new AI graphics tool, and who it's for. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by Squarespace. Get online, build your site, promote your brand, and get paid all in one place at squarespace.com/MacVoices. Use the offer code MacVoices for 10% off your first website or domain purchase. Today's MacVoices is supported by HelloFresh. Visit hellofresh.com/MacVoices10FM and get 10 free meals. Jeff, this one may be for you and maybe for everybody. But Canva has a new magic layers tool that will break your design process, and they say in a good way, jokingly, that apparently it takes every aspect of a flat photo, and turns it into a layer that can be then manipulated.
And this is a really cool use of AI in a creative space. Because you can now take an image and split out all the elements of it into editable layers, and that's going to save a ton of time. One of the examples I remember from the press release about this was you have text in a document or in an image, and the text needs to just go away. All right, so it's now on its own layer. Make it go away, or it needs to be edited, and all you have is your flat file. Okay, there you go. And the problem, though, is that since all the text can be pulled out to its own layer, now you run the risk of I have a watermarked image. It's my own image. Someone drops it into here, and they use this to pull the watermark out and put their own in instead, and now it looks like it's their image. So there will be abuse, but for the people that understand the value of this and how to use it in a responsible way, I think this is going to be a super handy tool.
Jeff, I like the way your mind works because you're looking at things I usually look at. I had not even thought about that possible abuse of the technology. So is there a way around that? Or is it just, again, one of those things that you can break copy protection on just about anything if you go about it right and have enough time and horsepower?
Well, any copy protection can be broken if you have enough time and enough money. I haven't played with this, so I don't know if it has a fail-safe thing built in where if it recognizes something as a watermark and you try and remove it from the image, if it gives you a smackdown, it says nope. I would hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anybody else interested in this capability? And Brian and Marty, I'm kind of looking at you from, and Eric too, from the academic standpoint. Is this something that you could see yourselves playing with or making use of?
I was just going to comment, not necessarily per se a project in mind, but just the fact that it's available and, accessible for somebody who doesn't have, the Photoshop skills, to be able to create and produce something as needed in this area, I think is powerful.
Okay. Marty?
Yeah, Brian's been reading my mind all night, and then I get quiet and my words come out of his mouth. I was thinking about it for people who don't have the skills. Now, the danger is that the kind of thing that Jeff just suggested, people without the skills might also not have the ethics to be able to not pull that watermark out and realize that that's a place where they need to stop if it's still available. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a Canva subscriber, and this will be something I want to play around with just to see, because usually when I'm trying to create images through Canva or through some other format, I kind of take their templates and I do what I can do with it, and that's that. It'll be nice to see if this opens up possibilities for me when I have to create those kind of images to do layering. And I know some about layering. I just don't know is how to effectively use it. And if the AI is going to do it for me, that's going to make it more interesting.
I have homework for you, Marty, and I apologize for giving you homework. Um, I would love to hear about your experience using this feature uh, in however it relates to the Affinity app, as opposed to doing it just directly in Canva, because I'm sure it integrates in. This is a great selling feature for the Affinity app, because it's like, well, I don't have Photoshop, but I can get this free thing. Oh, and with my Canva subscription, I can do this really cool AI enhanced thing that makes my life easier. Yes, please.
Yeah, I could probably take one of the logos that I've already created for some project or some podcast and try and pull out the different components of it and see what happens.
Awesome. Thank you for being a guinea pig for me.
All right.
Hey, before I get David's comment, I do want to ask though, I think about how useful the capabilities we have now inside Apple's Photos capability is to lift, something out completely. And, for something that would have taken hours to do really well before, you can do now just with a touch of the finger. And so, Jeff, that's not the same thing as breaking down into multiple layers, but it feels like sort of the same kind of technology. Is that an accurate statement?
Sure, I think that's fair. I mean, you're using the same kind of technology to identify elements, but doing a smart erase where you look at a part of an image and say, okay, these parts that are different, let's make them look like everything else, as opposed to let's isolate every single element that's in here, not just based on it's different, but it's this whole element. So now it has to like really identify what each element in an image is. So it's much more sophisticated, I think. But at the core, it's still the same sort of thing. Let me find this part and do something different with it.
Okay. David?
I just want to give a little insight on the enterprise side of things. Unfortunately, AI is out there, and most companies want to keep things in control. Like with Copilot, you have Copilot for work. It's locked into Microsoft's secure environment, and tools like this and any tools I've been working with. You can't lock it down. The company doesn't have any control of where that content is going to go, and that's the whole goal of in an enterprise wanting to keep data and content secure. So something like this probably wouldn't work well. You look at Canva on the side of things with a lot of companies like to do branding. They have their own branding, and Canva has some cool tools and graphics, but it's hard to keep it in compliance to that branding. But spinning it back, I think that's the big thing here is AI on a Canva application or any other applications that are out there that have an AI tool that's built into it. It's going to be a tough sell in the enterprise.
This MacVoices is supported by Squarespace. So you think building a video-focused website is complicated? Multiple platforms, embedding issues, bandwidth concerns, design headaches? It can feel like more trouble than it's worth, but it doesn't have to be. Squarespace makes creating a video-centric site surprisingly simple. Whether you're showcasing a podcast, hosting interviews, building a course, or highlighting your latest projects, Squarespace has the tools built right in. You can embed videos from platforms like YouTube or Vimeo with just a few clicks, or host your own content directly using Squarespace Video Studio and member areas. That means you can create a polished, professional experience for your audience, no patchwork solutions required. And of course, everything looks great out of the box. Squarespace's award-winning templates are designed to make your video content shine on any device, automatically adapting for desktop, tablet, and mobile. Plus, with built-in SEO tools, analytics, and social integrations, your videos don't just sit there, they get discovered. So if you've been putting off building a video-focused website because it seemed too complicated, Squarespace removes the barriers and lets you focus on what you do best, creating great content. Go to squarespace.com/MacVoices for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code MacVoices to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace. Make your video content the star. Thanks to Squarespace for supporting MacVoices. This MacVoices is supported by HelloFresh. Are you trying to eat healthier, but finding it harder than it should be? Between busy schedules, takeout temptations, and not knowing what to cook, it's easy to fall off the track. That's why HelloFresh can make such a difference. Nothing hits home like home cooking. And HelloFresh makes it easy to do more of it with recipes that feel good and taste delicious night after night. One of the things I like best is that it takes the guesswork out of eating better. You get access to over 100 recipes every week, including more than 35 high-protein options, plus Mediterranean and GLP-1 friendly meals, so you can choose what fits your goals without sacrificing flavor. The ingredients are amazing, high quality across the board, sustainably sourced seafood, 100% antibiotic and hormone-free chicken, and fresh seasonal produce. You're not just eating healthier, you're eating better. Plus, the meals are designed for real life. They're straightforward to prepare, satisfying, and portioned, so everyone at the table is happy. They've even expanded their seafood options, 3 times as many with no upcharge, and added premium choices like grass-fed steak ribeyes when you want to mix things up. Because when dinner tastes this good, nothing hits home like home cooking. I use this, and you should too. Go to HelloFresh.com/MacVoices10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free zwilling knife, a $145 value on your third box. Offer valid while supplies last. Free meals applied as a discount on your first box. New subscribers only, and varies by plan. Thanks to HelloFresh for supporting MacVoices. Dave, I'm not taking a shot at you.
No.
Jeff is looking at it one way as enhancing his creativity. I guess from a corporate standpoint, you're looking at it as needing to keep it under control.
Right. And companies have that feeling. Copilot. Now all of us here have our opinions on Copilot for sure, but the Copilot, learning how to use Copilot and teaching the enterprise workforce how to use AI in general. Their focus, most companies are using Copilot because it's, again, in the Microsoft ecosystem. It can be controlled, and keeping it in the environment because it gives you the tool to be able to search on the web and search on all your work data too. So that's where it's got that chance of it being a problem if it went outside of those bounds. But there's plenty of things that the Copilot can do. It's just learning the prompts, and that's where I think that's the next thing. I know Marty's been doing a lot of stuff with AI and trying to teach those kinds of things. And I want to learn that even more. And I think we might even be doing some sessions about that. Just having knowledge of and just getting ideas from other employees, talking about the prompts, what you can do to search for something specific to the job, because every company has different roles and different jobs of what they do. And being able to learn the prompts, how to get that data, as well as bringing in like what Canva can do, getting graphics in place. Can be helpful as well.
Okay. Webb.
I just briefly, I agree with what David said from the corporate world. It'd be great to open up everything to all these wonderful tools, but in my world, my organization, I have it locked down, and yeah, we're using Copilot, and we have a licensed in-house version of ChatGPT that we're using. But
well, that's good.
And I can go into other reasons why I have developed the RAIOC, Responsible Artificial Intelligence Oversight Committee, and their whole purpose is to evaluate all these tools and see what tools we can use, which ones we can't. We get requests from certain people, certain individuals that they want to have access to it. Claude, just to pick one. And we have to find out what they're going to use, how they're going to use it. They've got to make sure that they don't put any corporate information on there, just stuff like that. So, but the point is, and I'll finish it here, is that in the corporate world, it's still pretty locked down.
Okay. Yeah, fair point. And it should be. I mean, because unfortunately, corporations have a lot more to lose and they're bigger targets than individuals. And that doesn't excuse the conduct of individuals as they, oh yeah, you should just go ahead and, shoot from the hip and do what you want. But corporately, you have to have a lot more oversight.
Chuck, can I call out Webb for being super smart for a second?
Sure, Jeff.
Webb, you are so smart and you are so forward thinking. Putting together your AI responsibility committee, and I'm sure they're empowered to be able to make the correct recommendations, as opposed to just having to toe someone's line. The need for committees like that at the corporate level is just so great, and doing that, setting it up, having the responsibility and the foresight to know that this needs to happen. I am just so happy to hear that you've done this.
Thank you. There's also another committee, which is generally categorized as Information Security Committee, and that is separate, and it is not cross-pollinated. The people that are on one committee can't be on the other.
Good.
And that's more of the main information systems, and quite honestly, I don't know if you know this, but there are certain countries in the Middle East that are involved in some military actions, and they have ramped up their information, their hacking abilities tremendously, and everybody's got to be diligent on it. So.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, we have a very robust information security process, including how we utilize AI.
I mean, there's many companies out there who have that information security well in place and well secure, and being very scrutinizing software that someone requests is another good thing. I've been working with some of those kinds of things lately, and yeah, let's say that the piece of software has AI included to it, they're going to scrutinize it. The information security team is going to scrutinize that. I applaud you for you having the AI committees, and that's, I think many companies are doing that now, and just assessing, I think more so of the focus of how it can be beneficial to the particular role in the company, not to have IT delegate what you and teach what that can do. I don't know what those roles are. I can't teach those things because I don't do that role. I don't know what they're looking for, how they're doing things. So they have to have, user champions, I guess you would want to call it, to be leading the way to understand how AI can be helpful in the workplace, whether it be on a Mac or a PC. It's going to work the same way.
One last comment. Both of these two committees that I talked about are not headed up by IT people. They're headed up by the management team. So,
as I knew,
that's
not something we would do. So,
this may be for both of you, but I got to ask one more question, and I don't want to take you into uncomfortable territory. I just find it really interesting that it sounds like you intentionally have kept the IT people out of that. I understand completely.
They're on the committee. They're just not managing the committee.
Okay. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Okay, good. All right.
IT is going to have a actual AI oversight, giving some tips and kind of working on that part of it. But they're not going to be on these specific committees onto the business side. They want to learn from the business. That's the whole intent. IT needs to be very good at understanding the business, and then I do that all the time. I want to understand how the business works. So that's the one unique thing with your company too, Webb, that you have IT that I would hope wants to understand how your business works and what all of your brokers or whoever else that works in your company to understand what they do.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.